Hello everyone, this is Coulter Scott again. Today's assignment's all about the internal and external communication, and I have created a chart going through Auburn Washburn's um, communication chart. Broken it down into the internal and external groups that we work with. For this assignment, I decided to go with the Lucid chart diagrams. I took a quick look over all the other ones. I felt like the Lucid chart was the quickest one that I was able to connect with and very easygoing on how to get started. With formats or without a format, was able to drag, click, place. At times had a little issues with maybe extending things out, but that could also be because I was using a free version of it and not buying the actual app. Which also in turn I think also hurt me a little bit with being able to get all the information on my chart. Because I had to a couple times stop and go from working on this assignment, I think I might have reached the limit on how many times I could reach the website and use it for free. So this is also currently why I'm using a PowerPoint to be able to show the other information that needs to be provided for this assignment. Overall, thought this charting machine worked very well and would recommend at some point if I'm needing to possibly do more of this. Communication is the key to any organization or business. An organization like a school district has to communicate to the internal and external stakeholders. Community communication is executed in many forms and looks different from each level of the organization. Everybody is in constant communication of some form and attempting to reach a common goal of creating the best place for students and making the community a better place for everyone. Here's the chart that I've created for Auburn Washburn Unified School District 437. On the left, we have the internal communication, and on the right, we have the external communication. I'll start with the internal. Right off the bat, we've created from the top to bottom kind of the hierarchy, the chain of command, or whatever you'd like to use, going down. At the top is the school board. They make everything happen. They're voted on by the community. So they have to be upfront and be part of this communication upfront. They do this by have monthly meetings, emails, building visits, district policies, newsletters, and they deal with the news stations a lot and how we need to get things done. Down from there, we have the superintendent. He communicates with everybody by monthly meetings, district policies, emails, weekly newsletters, building visits, a little bit of social media. I think he has a lot to do with social media, but he is not always the one that is the one sending it out to the masses. The next down would be the district level administration. Phone calls, emails, weekly newsletters, social media, and building visits are the biggest way they are communicating within the district. Down from them are principals. They're the day-to-day, obviously, with the students and parents. Biggest thing they do is emails and texts. They have a little bit to do with social media, but it's almost to protect it and make sure everything is going well, and they do a lot of phone calls. They also do a lot. One I forgot to put in here, we use Google Classroom. They use that, and Infinite Campus are also another forms of way they communicate. Teachers, obviously within the infrastructure, they communicate with emails, phone calls, Google Classroom, and flyers to their students and staff, down to classified staff, which is our paras, our maintenance, our janitors, anybody else that is in the building, really. They have a very simple communication basis of email, phone calls, and doing daily sheets and activities. Down from that is now we have our students, which is why we're here, to teach, and they have the social media aspect, the Google Classroom, and emails. Moving off over to the right, we have the external communication, and yet again, going from top to bottom, we have kind of the chain of command. We start out with the Kansas Department of Education, which is local enough right here in Topeka for us. So we do work closely with them, as I know all districts do, but having them in town is kind of an extra bonus on some things, but can also be a con. They do everything with controlling the state website for the education and building what teachers need and the media they need. They do digital media, social media, emails. Their connection with our superintendent, which does the community meetings, the email, social media, personal appearances, and make press statements. Those were a lot more of his doings of making sure the outlook of the school is right and connecting us from the top bottom with what community members we need to be working with to create the most success for our district and build the strongest thing we can. Down from there again, just like on the other one, the principals, they can make some press statements. They work a lot more within the building and not so much the district. Emails, community meetings, and social media again. Down to booster clubs. This is where we start to adjust a little bit from the internal. The booster clubs, you're talking our clubs, our sports, our activities, band, choir, all those activities. They start to use a little bit different communication tools like newsletters, obviously still phone calls. They make appearances in the community, but it's in a different light. They're going to connect and use the Auburn Washburn name to connect the community back to the school. It's always one of those things that students and parents, if they're wearing gear for your district, they're connecting you back to the school, and whatever they do is how other people perceive the district. Moving down to community partners, this is any business that is connected to your school district, but also anything that's just in your city or town that can help you out. They will communicate by emails, flyers, news stations, social media, and digital media. And then you have your alumni, which could be one of your best communication tools, but you also have to reach them. This is being involved in the school district, phone calls, emails, just having constant contact with them. I feel like alumni can be a lot more reached through the booster clubs and teachers more than anybody else, because those are a lot where you have those relationships being built with those individuals. Here's my reference phrase, and thank you for listening.